What's up, guys and gals? This is going to be a short and sweet video. This is just going to be my Iron Man build and stats. I'm going to cut straight to it because I am broadcasting live. So here we go. Alright, first of all, melee is 1416, defense is 1830, range is 6001, heroic is 5603. Okay, I'm going to go over my stats, my character stats. My precision is 603, my might is 10, of course, proficiency is 62, valor is 451, resolve is 89, resilience is 174, intensity is at 0, but I do have 27.5% of stun damage, and status resistance is 23. All my ultimate heroics are maxed out. Alright, I'll do my pieces last. I'll go straight into my skills, and I'll go from the back to the front. As you see, that I only have one more left that I really care about getting, and that's the willpower ball 4%. It's not really necessary, but that would complete what I want for Iron Man. The rest I can just get the melee damage as I get it. I'm not really concerned about that because I really don't use it that much. Okay. On my mastery skills, of course, I've got all the primary. Those are already done, of course, as I'm at 175. But I mean, I'm at level 50. But going from right to left, flight mastery. What do I have? Increases the damage of range attacks while flying by 15%. The next one over, I got empowering barrier, and this one's actually called air superiority. This one is empowering barrier. This regenerates 5% per second of intrinsic energy of heroes near the energy barrier. So not only does it regenerate intrinsic energy of just the heroes, but myself included. I use this a lot to regenerate my intrinsic. And then we have the energy shield deficiency, defensive specialization. It reduces the cost of energy shield activation by 15%. Okay, so when I'm popping the energy shield, it's not taking away too much intrinsic to actually pop it, and I'm actually getting more back from the 5%, so I can actually use my intrinsic abilities a lot longer. I'm using the overcharge heroic boost. It increases the charge rate of all heroic meters while overcharged by 10%. I get nearly everything back really quickly. Now you can choose that. I did have this one. They increase the damage of all attacks while overcharged for 12%. It's either or. Depends on whether or not you're getting what you're getting. I was using the intrinsic damage for all attacks, but then when I actually used the heroic meters, it actually allowed me to get my support heroic back faster, and so you're completely overcharged then anyway. So it's kind of like a give or take. You can choose what you want. I just chose this one, so for my playstyle. I chose stun intrinsic boost. It stuns an enemy. Stunning an enemy instantly boosts intrinsic energy by 25 points. So I'm going to come back to this one because this one's going to tie into another attack that I use, which is going to explain how I get more intrinsic as I move forward. Okay. All right. So you got the arc reactor capacity. The next one. It increases the maximum amount of intrinsic supercharge energy by 15%. So I have an additional amount of supercharge energy. I know you can do the base iteration speed or the increases intrinsic energy gain from dealing a damage with light attacks. I don't really do a whole lot of light attacks, so it really wouldn't do me any good with that. So by increasing how much energy I have from the beginning is going to help my playstyle. Okay. And of course, the increase in base regeneration speed ties back to the empowering barrier, where you're getting the energy back by doing the energy barrier. Plus, it takes 15% less to actually activate it, so that kind of helps me out with that. So I've got that extra energy. I've got the supercharge for an additional 15% energy. So I like that. Okay, now let's go into the lasers. I use my lasers probably 95% of the time, and I'll explain that why in my gear set. This laser efficiency decreases intrinsic energy cost for laser attacks by 10%. Laser specialization reduces the intrinsic energy cost of using aimed fire for a laser weapon by 10%. So you're reducing the cost for laser, and you're reducing the cost for aimed laser. Okay, So if you're flying around, it reduces that by 10%. If you're aiming it by holding the L2 button down, or I don't know what it's called placed on Xbox, it's called RT, I think. Yeah. So if you're doing the right trigger, then you're and holding it down and pressing the left trigger to do so, then it's actually reducing 10% there as well. Okay, so here the laser mastery increases stun damage for all laser attacks by 20%. Okay, so the rockets have the most damage. The repulse attack damage. The lasers have the most stun. So if I'm doing increased stun damage for laser attacks for 20%, then I have this piece that says stunning an enemy boosts intrinsic energy by 25 points. Then automatically, if I'm using, say for example, sonic lasers, or if I'm using, vibranium, whatever, if I don't kill them before I get to the stun, when I stun them, then automatically I'm getting 25 points of intrinsic energy, right? So at any point in time where I'm shooting my laser, as my bar leaves, it actually grows. So as I'm shooting or using my laser on whatever enemy I'm using, then what's happening is my actual intrinsic is going down. As soon as I put somebody on stun, it boosts 25 more points. If I'm stunning multiple people, I'm not losing my intrinsic. I'm constantly getting it back. So you can see how that would be beneficial. Okay. Now, you can increase the duration of overcharge state by 2 seconds if you want to. Appreciate it, D. Appreciate you, D-Lo. Let me know when you're going to be on, cuz. Yeah, increases the duration of the overcharge state by 2 seconds. You can do that, and overcharge 2 seconds is great. But let me tell you, I'm gonna show you in a minute why I didn't choose that as well, okay? Because if I'm automatically getting 25 more intrinsic points, then that means I have constant laser action. I got the 10% reduction flying, 10% laser aiming, and now I have and I'm getting constant 25 points back of intrinsic. So at that point, I don't necessarily need overcharge unless I want to activate overcharge, okay? So if I'm constantly stunning opponents and I keep getting intrinsic energy, this is going to automatically cause me to supercharge. You're automatically going to see 250% on the left side of the screen. It's going to show that my suit's overcharged. So I'm actually overcharging my suit outside of actually using my support heroic. So that's how you can bring that support heroic back into play a lot more often. Okay, so we're going to go under the combat. Of course, I have 15% reduction to intrinsic energy meter cost for all ranged attacks and weapons. So again, I have the 15% of reduction of intrinsic, and I also have the maximum energy of 15%, and I actually have the 25%. The 25 points come back when I stun an enemy, which is what I'm doing most of the time. So that's going to play off. And I have this one where it increases all range attack damage by 15%. Now, if you're going to increase all range attack damage, I would pair that one with the rocket mastery, because it increases damage for all rocket attacks. So that's 12% plus an additional 15%, which is going to give you a whopping 23. Wait, am I saying that right? Nope, I'm not. 27% additional damage, because that's damage. See, this is damage and this is damage. So if you got rockets, put those two together. If you want to use a rocket build, put those two together. If you're going to do a laser build, you're going to need a lot more intrinsic meter reduction, because you're constantly holding that button and the laser is constantly going. With rockets, you shoot one rocket, it takes a lot. It reduces the intrinsic meter by so much, okay? But if you're doing the laser, it's going to last a little bit longer because you can watch it as it goes. And I would go with the reduction of intrinsic, but that's just based off my playstyle. And then, of course, the heroic takedown, you get the heroic orb. That's a no-brainer. That's what everybody's been doing. All right, increases all stun damage dealt to enemies by 15%. Now watch this. All right, this is a melee upgrade. All right, now notice it says boost critical attack damage done while in air juggling opponents. Okay, this one says increases damage of all combo finishers. This one says increases all stun damage dealt to enemies by 15%. All, meaning it's all stun damage. Any kind of stun damage that you deal, it increases by 15%. So my stun damage is really rocking, okay? Again, we got that 27.5% there. It's just rocking and rolling. All right, on your specialty, of course, I have the Hulkbuster. It's the Energy Star, reduces the intrinsic energy cost by 25% for actions or attacks while using the Hulkbuster. Let me see, there's one over here. You can deploy it for 10 more seconds, but if your intrinsic's gone, it's not, that 10 seconds is not going to last. It's just 10 seconds of you just standing there and not doing anything. When the Hulkbuster's in action, that 10 seconds is not going to mean anything. When you're doing an intrinsic energy cost, like say if you're doing you're spamming the stun for claw, that's going to make a huge difference in that, because most of the time when you have the Hulkbuster, he'll start stomping and it'll reduce your intrinsic to where you have to come out the Hulkbuster. But if you have that reduce that energy cost, you can stay a little longer. Of course, you got the disruption pulse. You need to have this equipped at all time, because you can still do the rockets. It just gives you more rockets than what it normally does. I would keep this one, the disruption pulse, for a Hulkbuster. I have when you let me see what we got here. Rapidly defeating 3 enemies with Unibeam will overcharge the intrinsic supercharge meter. So again, that gives me more intrinsic supercharge if I'm defeating people with Unibeam. So again, that intrinsic supercharge works good with my lasers. Now I know you can do the enemies defeated will give you heroic orbs, but you're really just trying to get that intrinsic supercharge really going. I don't really use my Unibeam as much as I normally would. It does come around pretty quickly, but I just don't use it as much. I mostly use the laser, and you'll see about that in a little bit. And of course, I got this one, increases the maximum Unibeam duration by 3 seconds, so you just hold it longer. And then I have the defensive shield, where let me see, frequency modification reflect projectiles back at the enemy who launched them, requires use of arc field technology. Okay, arc field ability. The thing about this is, I've noticed something, that when you have this open in the raid, it doesn't work as well. When you're outside of the raid, it works pretty well. But when you're inside, it really doesn't work that well, because they can still hit you inside your bubble. Claw can still hit you with his orbs, and the bad guys with the corrupted vibranium can still get through, like the spiders that shoot out those little blue projectiles that look like crosses, little baby crosses. They go through your shield, which is not cool. And if that's going to happen, then why is it saying it can reflect projectiles? Because it doesn't. It does not in the raid. So I don't know if that's something that people need to fix or what. So at this point, because we know that doesn't really work, we just switch to Arc Jolt, where you instantly revive teammates or whatnot that way. Okay. The EMP, I don't really use the EMP. I use the Arc Field. Generates a one-directional projectile bubble that blocks incoming projectiles, but allows range attacks from inside the bubble to pass through, damaging enemies from outside the arc field. Or you can have the duration of the arc stage for 3 seconds. Now, in this particular situation, again, one directional, they can say one directional all they want to. When you're on the outside of the raid, true. Inside the raid, this thing does not work. Because I'm literally in the bubble, and I be getting hit while I'm in the bubble. So, which is crazy. Now, the guys with the soldiers with the guns that have the shields on them, in the raid, and it's like a weird sonic energy around them, but it's like you shoot it, it reflects its energy back at you. When those guys shoot those like big circles or donuts at you that knock you down, they do bounce off of this shield. They do. So what I'm going to do is, in this particular situation, I'm going to use the reflector here, and I'm going to go to the 3 extra seconds on the arc overload. Okay, and I could get an additional 5 seconds. Where's it at? 5 seconds somewhere. There's a 5 seconds somewhere. There. Where? Here. No, it's somewhere. It's over here. Nope. I don't know. It's over here somewhere. I have no idea where it is. But there's another one where you can do like an additional like 2 seconds or something like that. Of this is it right here. Increase the duration of overcharge for state by 2 seconds. So that gives you an additional 2 seconds. Okay. So let's go to my gear. And we'll go from right to left. Got the tactic gun with the Might and Valor. Okay. I've got the precision piece. I've got the Valor, precision, and proficiency piece. Attacking enemy with cryo damage that has an active vibranium status spreads cryo status to nearby enemies, and 20% reduction from a taunted enemy. Then I have the best piece that's on this build to me, because this really makes a huge difference in my playstyle. This will give me precision, valor, and resolve. It gives me the electron shunt, grants 10 points of intrinsic energy when pairing attacks with energy shield, and rampant spike. This gives me 150 increased crit damage while overcharged. Okay, so in that 27.5, well, crit chance, 24.4% crit chance. Whenever that's happening, I get 150% increased damage. Arc Overload Assistance, gain an extra Arc Overlord charge. Okay, that's outstanding. All right, because I did have equipped this one when increases your supercharge by 8.5 seconds, which is at the bottom. Now imagine if instead of the electron shunt on the first one, it said increases the supercharge by 8.5 seconds. Oh my gosh, you couldn't tell me nothing if that happened. But anyway, they didn't do that. So, but anyway, we've got the Valor, Resilience, Precision. It's a Discordant Shielding Elite. It's negative 25% damage reduction from any vibranium attacks, and inflicts 25% additional damage to enemies afflicted by an active vibranium status effect. Granting ground while sending the Sonic Conduit buff to other heroes, the sender is less likely to be staggered. Alright, on ranged, we have the Discordant Muon Ray. And it's got Valor and Precision. This one, while sending a conduit buff with a Sonic Conduit buff to other heroes, the sender's attack infused with any status effect deal 15% more damage. I got so tongue twisted just now. Alright, in the Sonic Sprint, aerial aim damage, range attacks performed while aiming or flying deal sonic damage. Pinpoint vibranium payload. It's 31.8% chance that range critical attacks will activate vibranium payload on the enemy target. And on my melee, I have the Resilience, Valor, and Precision. And I have Hyperflux lasers, 21% increased damage of all laser attacks. And I have the Vibranium Lightweight Apex damage. Light combo finishes and signature attacks deal vibranium damage. And I have the Hulkbuster Breaker, 20% increased damage from Hulkbuster. So there you have it. That's my build. Hope it didn't take too long to explain the build. It does really, really well. I'm very happy with my Iron Man. I just got like, let me see how many more skills I got. 15 before I can actually activate that last one that I want to activate. But like I said, all the damage and stuff is here. So this is going to be my build going into the Clone Labs, and I'm very excited about this build. On my next video, I'll show you my Hawkeye build. I call it the world's greatest build, but because he's the world's greatest archer or marksman. But it's a fantastic build. Does a lot of damage and things of that nature. But my Iron Man, it shreds. When I have my vibranium equipped as my lasers and my sonic equipped as my melee, the damage shifts, but it's only like 59.71, so it's so close to range. It's about the same, something close to it. But it's 603, so I think it jumps down to like 598, if that, 598, 599, somewhere up in that carry. But other than that, I mean, this guy's pretty OP, especially in a raid or otherwise. Like outside a raid, he's a serial killer. So I'm gonna call this my Iron Man serial killer build, because he's a serial killer. He's killing everything in sight. And I rarely use the Hulkbuster. I mostly use my lasers in my support heroic. I use my my unibeam when it pops up. I don't use it often, but I'll use it probably every 3 or 4 supercharges. I'll probably pop it on just to give my lasers a break. But that's about it. But I hope you liked the build. Hope you like and subscribe this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on this. Actually, you know what? Let me see if my homeboy's on, and because it's almost time for the reset. And what I'll do is I'll leave you here with this, and you'll see Iron Man gameplay today, and I will record it then. Okay? All right, cool, guys. Guys and gals, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all have a good one. I am the owner of Chaotic Enterprises LLC. My name is Joseph. You have a good one, and I'll see you next time.